World War Z Aftermath is one of the most exhilarating experiences on Google Stadia. From massive hordes of the undead to intense narrow corridor PvP experiences, World War Z certainly has made an entrance onto Stadia. Not only is this the base game, but also the sequel we wanted from the developer Saber Interactive, and it shows. The story shows the devastation that has been caused by the initial outbreak, how characters have changed and adapted, and how humanity is changing the tide of war. Apart from some design quirks, some technical features missing, and an odd bug here and there, World War Z Aftermath provides an amazing and refined experience that will please anyone itching to fight swarms of the undead. To start, players can choose to play the campaign solo or co-op, or they can dive straight into online multiplayer. For this review, I spent over 10 hours in each of the modes so I can give an accurate representation of both. I will say though that for those who aren't always comfortable playing online, the single player experience is just as addictive and versatile. There are many zombie infested maps to play through, each with unique missions and randomizers that affect everything from weapon case locations to the layout of mission objectives. This also makes exploring the game's various classes more enjoyable, as jumping into each randomized map with a new set of skills ended up feeling like a fresh experience altogether. So, World War Z Aftermath story mode is made up of 7 different locations all over the world. The first 4 are disconnected narrative campaigns that came with the base game back in 2019, with the Aftermath update bringing an additional 3 campaigns that follow on with specific characters. Each adventure has 4 distinct playable characters, which places it more towards the books instead of the film. You will make your way through linear locations such as Japan and New York, whilst fighting for survival and achieving goals together. The story is considerably light, but it does provide you with some context instead of dropping you slap bang in the middle wondering what on earth's going on. You can also find the colouring for the narrative outside of the missions and unlock short animated backstories for the characters after playing with them at least once. I like how the story is presented like this because it allows you to absorb not only what you're interested in, but gives you a sense of the characters' deeper personalities. In terms of gameplay, the third-person shooting feels great, and I did not encounter any slowdown or connectivity issues when playing online, which is a massive, impressive feat at launch. The first-person mode also feels great, however I did have a couple of sluggish moments and frame rate drops in especially heavy encounters. It's all the more impressive when you see how many zombies are actually on the screen at once. Seeing thousands of the undead descend on you from the distance is a common occurrence, and you must often hold down the fort while they scramble and climb on top of each other to get to you. Seeing the undead hills is scary, and firing at the base with explosives or even just plain old bullets is always satisfying, especially as they topple down to the ground and scramble to regroup. In these situations, when you know the horde is preparing to descend, you have more than just the weapons you have scavenged on the way there. You are typically afforded time to set up defences like barbed wire, electric floor panels or turrets for some light tower defence. There are instances when you're also exploring that you will find breaching charges. These allow you to blow down specific doors in an area to get more defences or extra weapons. I will say that collaborating with a team, especially on higher difficulties to set up defences and then execute them to hold back the zombies, is awesome and makes for replaying the campaigns consistently exciting. Any character can be one of 8 classes in the game, which is great when you find a character you like or trying to unlock everyone's backstory. The classes don't feel radically distinct since everyone scavenges the same weapons. Instead, the class dictates your special item like a grenade, taser, or a special syringe that can boost everyone's health. You level up your classes as you play, unlocking assorted boosts and equipable passive abilities. It encourages you to find a favourite early and stick with it, which made trying a few new classes unsatisfying. Alternatively, I do like how the guns level up individually, because the weapons that you're using are different every match, so your favourites like the explosive crossbow or the battle rifle do get more powerful over time. Along with the cooperative campaigns, which is the premier mode, a competitive mode for groups of 8 to fight each other is also present. This mode offers a change of pace and has some depth with its 5 sub-modes and 10 classes that can be leveled similarly to the classes in the campaign, but unfortunately it does play like a mode from a past era. The shooting feels good and pausing in firefights so everyone can take on a sudden horde of zombies is a cool idea, but running around with your team on a small map adapted from the campaign trying to get 50 kills as fast as possible is too familiar, especially in the modern age of online shooters. In terms of matchmaking times, I never found an issue finding a game for co-op mode. There seems to be some wait time before you get put into a lobby, usually around 2 minutes, even when certain people are playing online. With the PvP mode on the other hand, it is another story, as it's very hit and miss, especially when you're trying to get a game going. During weekdays in the UK, don't expect to find a game unless it's past 8 PM at night. The lack of crossplay in this title is very noticeable on the PvP side, and no doubt as the months pass, this will be unplayable for a large amount of people on Stadia. In terms of co-op, this is something I would not worry about at present. I do hope that Saber Interactive add this feature as soon as possible, especially as they did promise it before launch. In terms of languages and accessibility, there is also a lot on offer. In terms of accessibility, there are difficulty levels, skip challenges, dialogue subtitles, button remapping, separate volume controls, and colorblind modes. In terms of languages, you can also expect these to be English, French, Russian, Italian, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Polish, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. So there's a wealth of languages for a lot of people to get stuck into. With regards to Stadia specific features though, there are currently none implemented at launch. I really would have liked to have seen Stream Connect as we did with the Division 2 and Breakpoint, as it would have been a very nice addition to see your teammates screen. Resolution and performance are a strange one with World War Z Aftermath on Stadia. The game runs at 1080p with a fixed 60 FPS, which very rarely drops any frames at all. However, I did notice that a lot of people online were finding that this was dropping after around an hour of play. It is also noticeable that the resolution on a larger screen that has no 4K output, and in terms of graphics, the game has been somewhat toned down in detail compared to the Xbox version. I assume this was done to ensure the frame rate did not drop at all, which is great to see, especially as the game requires it. I do really hope that they do add a 4K mode in the future, even if that's an upscaled 4K or a 30 FPS mode with higher texture details.
I'm out of ammo.
For me, World War Z is a technically proficient, visually impressive cooperative shooter that surprised me and is a great addition for Google Stadia. Licensed games can be very hit or miss, and the film version of World War Z is not the most exciting fictional world, but it supports the experience here very well. The core of the story and the exhilarating combat elevate an engaging cooperative shooting experience into some of the most fun I've had shooting zombies in a while. This is certainly a game to have in your Stadia library, and for all those pro members out there, it is certainly worth claiming. I would personally rate World War Z Aftermath on Stadia an 8.5 out of 10. Overall, it is a fantastic experience and an unmissable one for many Stadia players. But the technical oversights with crossplay and a toned down 1080p image with lower texture quality could make it a slight turn off for players looking for a graphic showcase on Stadia. So that's my review for World War Z Aftermath on Google Stadia. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did like it, smash that like button down below so it reaches more Google Stadia players. And for more reviews, news and content cloud gaming related, stay tuned to the channel and hit that subscribe button. My name is Fletcher from PSX Cloud, and I will see you guys in the next video.